Kishore Rathore, and you're watching eSpotlight, a program brought to you by Golden Jubilee Centre of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. Well, today I have somebody very versatile with me. He's an educationist, musician, author, and there is so much to go on to this list, which we will decipher during this interview. Founder and Chief Managing Director of Angels Paradise Primary School, Mr. Vikrant Kapoor.
Thank you so much, Simran, for a wonderful introduction. It's my honor to be here, and it was lovely meeting you all in the center that you have developed. All the best to you for that.
I definitely, from our initial conversation that we have had, it's going to be an amazing interview.
Yeah.
And a lot of insight for the entrepreneurs who are going to watch this.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start with asking you, you visited our center. It's an incubation center. Specifically, if I'm talking about education industry, how do you think such centers can play a role in bringing up that entrepreneurial spirit if any entrepreneur is thinking of establishing himself or herself in this particular industry?
It's a wonderful question, Simran. I believe that you have talked that how education and this centers like incubation centers like this. So you understand that all the doctors, all the engineers, all the AI experts, they have come from a system called education system.
Right.
And the education system has to be the most dynamic, versatile, creative, and incubating. Mm-hmm. So I believe that this development, which is happening in Guru Nanak Dev University and around so many universities where I visit for as a keynote speaker or other things, I just see that these things are coming up, and this thing is going to help a lot because you are incorporating this thing with the education. Mm-hmm. In your center only, Mr. Patti was showing me that that he allows any student from any department to take the help of these resources.
That is right.
And so once you're incorporating, so the future generation of this country would be really creative, and I also believe that why everything is coming from West. Who has given us Apple? Which country? America. Mm-hmm. Who has given us Microsoft? Again, America. Who has given us all the technologies which is coming right now? America or the West. And what India is doing, India is expert in copying. Mm-hmm. You're understanding this thing? हम किसी भी चीज़ की कॉपी बहुत सुंदर कर लेते हैं, परफेक्ट. उसका रीज़न ही एजुकेशन सिस्टम है. हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम कॉपी पेस्ट करना सिखाता है. टीचर ने कुछ चैप्टर्स कराया, बच्चे ने कॉपी किया, उसको पेस्ट कर दिया एग्जामिनेशन में. अमेरिकन एजुकेशन सिस्टम क्रिएटिविटी सिखाता है. तो अब इंडिया में इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी अ कंप्लीट बैलेंस ऑफ कॉपिंग समथिंग and creation through these wonderful initiatives that आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी ले रही है, पूरा एजुकेशन सिस्टम ले रहा है. So I'm really exciting for the new changes.
So you started your journey way back in 2006,
right,
when I think entrepreneurship was not even a word that many of us understood. You might have had your own hardships. What was the vision and mission that went behind your idea? Because what I feel is that we've had education system, there were schools, but how did you decide what is going to differentiate your
very right question. I believe that entrepreneur word is a very old word and word driven from French, and I'm a French student out of this university only, and it means to undertake. And this entrepreneur word has been buzzing and in the fad from past few years. And you're right, and way back around 15 to 18 years, the people used to not talk about entrepreneurship. Right. But yes, we had a very, I would say, time. It's like a caterpillar coming out of, the shell and becoming a butterfly. So we had our phase of aha se aha tak. And I would say it was a beautiful learning journey. And I really believe that the easy time makes easy people and tough time makes tough people. So we had a very tough time in conceptualizing this and doing this. As a matter of fact, our education system way back during that time did not give any wings to do something creative. You were bounded by the state education board or the center education board कि आपको इसी limit में ही इसी चीज़ पे ही आपको अपनी चीज़ें करनी है. So me and my wife Muskan, we started the school with the vision, and at that time there was some personal crisis in our life. We didn't have much of the money. We even didn't have much of say resources in our life. Not even we had home to stay, so we had a different challenges, but that's a too much different story. But yes, we had a very minimum amount, 50,000-60,000 rupees. So we started up with this, that there is a need of early childhood in India. At that time, there was no concept of play schools. There was no concept of preschools. Me and my wife was of a vision that कि बड़े बच्चों में आप क्रिएटिविटी नहीं कर सकते हैं, बट छोटे बच्चों में यू कैन डू लॉट्स ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी बिकॉज द मैक्सिमम ब्रेन ग्रोथ हैपन्स till the age of 7 years. It's 85% as far as the scientific research is concerned. So we felt कि उन बच्चों को सिर्फ रट्टा लगवा के पढ़ाना, हाथ पकड़ के A लिखवा दिया, B लिखवा दिया और चलो आगे चलो, कैट बैट मैट लिखवा दिया, आगे चलो, तो that is against the rule of the nature. These children are designed to play. इनको they just love to play. So we wanted to design an education where the wholesome nourishment of their education is coming. So we designed an education concept called theme education on the basis of 8 intelligence that a human being carries at the time of birth. That is mental development, emotional development, spiritual development, interpersonal development, aesthetic development. So all these developments, we designed the school according to this. So we didn't have any formal classrooms in our school. We designed the rooms, and where a child is going 30 minutes to each classroom, he's learning something to develop his mind and brain through teaching aids. Again, he's shifting to a room which is dedicated to aesthetic room. He's learning the art, drawing, painting. Then again, he's shifted to a room where his physical involvement is there, exercising, gymming, and then a room where it's designed for yoga, om chanting and everything. Again, there is a room designed for skills development, technology development. So, and we got the love of the people so much that one after another, we had to open our branches, and even the franchisees that we started, like people started approaching us from the nearby towns of Amritsar. So though it was a tough journey, अगर आप toughness जानना चाहोगे उसकी, तो I'm ready to share that. But अगर आप लगता है कि we have to be more focused somewhere else, so I can.
No, I think toughness is something that entrepreneurship brings with it.
Okay.
You know, there are hardships that you have to, and I ask this to almost every person that I interview, that it takes a lot of gut to stay on the journey when you meet failures. And I think especially on this road of entrepreneurship, it's unpredictable at times. So how do you face those challenges? What kept you going on this particular path?
A very beautiful question, Simran. Day before yesterday, I was there at LPU. I had a talk on entrepreneurship with the students. A speaker before me asked the students ki what is the best quality of an entrepreneur. So somebody was saying leadership, somebody was saying knowledge, somebody was saying these skills, that skills, and that is how they concluded. I believe that the biggest quality that entrepreneurs should have is none of these. It's the janoon, the passion. Why he started that thing, for what reason. उस पैशन को you cannot leave even for a single second. Once you connect your journey with some emotion, that journey continues. If you just have a superficial level, they are making unicorns, they are doing startups, so let me also do. There you go. So that passion, that janoon has to, be there. The cause of starting, and every time you have a challenge in your life, every time you are in a struggle in your journey, there you think why you started. And that gives you the motivation, the power, the spark to continue your journey.
Right. So I'm going to ask you some strategic questions right now because I think they are equally important. So we think, and it's a stereotype, we hear this statement a lot of times, teaching is a noble profession, but it is a business at the same time. And my generation has specifically had this phase where this used to be a very hyped conversation. It's a noble profession, but at the same time, teachers are working for money, because we used to see that somewhere in the attitude, right? So your schools are theme-based. You need passionate teachers. They cannot lack passion on any day because you're dealing with kids, right? How do you hire your teachers? What do you see in their personalities? What do they have to have in their personalities?
Okay. What I feel that your question carries two segments. the first segment is that commercialization of education. The second is that how do I hire my teachers. Simran, I would just say that the education is represented by Saraswati Ma, right? And money is represented by Lakshmi Ma. So these both things are attached to our culture, our country from years to years, right? And I ask you a small thing, like you're part of this Guru Nanak Dev University. Would you be part of this university जहाँ पे टूटे हुए benches हों, जहाँ पे teachers अच्छे ना हों, और यूनिवर्सिटी आपको एक्सक्यूज दे हमारे पास तो पैसे नहीं हैं, वी डोंट हैव मनी, वेयर वी कैन प्रोवाइड यू गुड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, वी डोंट हैव मनी, नोबडी गिव्स अस मनी. वुड यू बी स्टूडेंट ऑफ सच ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और नो?
Well, my perception goes a different way there. I
Okay.
think even if I would look, if it caters to my passion, then, if, for example, I'm a narrator, right? I have abundance of opportunity here.
Okay.
So those things won't matter.
Okay.
But then at the same time, I would like to become of such importance that I can put an input there.
Okay.
So my perspective goes that instead of complaining, I would be a little solution oriented.
That's right.
But that comes, I totally understand your point that sometimes you're not at a state where you can be an input, or your organization doesn't let you be an input. And
Yeah.
I think that will be a little toxic.
Well, you got the point right. It's like personal passionate you're talking about. You are, a person who looks into the solution instead of problem. But see, it is very, very important to sustain anything.
Right.
Even Mandir, Masjid, Gurdwara mein agar funds now, they'll shut down. They are only able to, survive or develop something because वहाँ पे चढ़ावा चढ़ता है. राइट. सो इवन हमारे 10,000 साल पहले भी दक्षिणा दी जाती थी गुरुओं को. कुछ इट्स लाइक वैल्यू, कुछ दे के वैल्यू मिलती है. यू गेटिंग अ पॉइंट. इट्स वैल्यू अगेंस्ट वैल्यू. सो देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग in asking for a good fees to give it back to the students. If it is the only commercial project, then I would say it is wrong, because education is something which is right of everybody and which should be important for everybody. So instead of making it commercialization, make it professional, right? And the second thing you asked, that how do we hire our teachers? We really believe that students only learn when they connect with the teacher. Intellectualism comes second. Your brilliance in your subject matter comes second. First, for a student, a child of 5 years, 10 years, 8 years, he wants to connect to a person. Then only the knowledge will be imparted through one channel to another. So we make sure that the person we are hiring is a wonderful human being, is an amazing human being. Even if he is little bit less in the subject matter that we want, we have an ecosystem of training, very strong ecosystem of training and upgrading the skills. And that is the first criteria. The second criteria is that we have in our mind, is that person open to learning or not? Is that person is concerned about the self growth or not? Or that person is only doing job for the money, or there is a convenience time of 6-7 hours of working? So we look at the aptitude. And the third level we come, that what is the base that person is having, previous knowledge that person is having, that we can give a further grooming to that. Because we have our own vision of our organizations. We want a person to adjust to our vision. So that is very important thing, that a person should be ready to adjust and work with the vision and goal of our organization, that is Angels Paradise.
Right. So you are very passionate about expanding, in forms of franchise, right? So what's the business model? How do you plan to do that? I mean, when we're talking about 1,000, we are talking in thousands, right?
Yeah.
So we are talking in thousands. How do you plan to manage the business? Is it delegation or is it decentralization? So which one do you prefer?
Right. As far as my vision is concerned, I want to give quality education to each and every child in India. I really believe that in today's time, where the knowledge and information is readily available at a click of a button, how much teacher is going to play the role in the child's life? The first thing is that developing the right kind of mindset in the students, giving them the purpose of their life, giving them the purpose of their learning, right? So that is what the message, and that is what I want to reach to the every student of life, every student of India, so I can reach to them through Angels Paradise. And of course the mission is to open 4,000 schools across India in each and every city and town, so that we can impart the best education and we can uplift the standard of learning in this country, and brilliant human beings and the wonderful people are coming out and contributing themselves to the progress of this country. So that is my vision and mission. And as far as you are concerned about the perspective of my franchising and everything, current franchisees that we have, very interesting study, I would say, half of them were housewives. When they approached us for this, they were literally housewives, no background of job, no background of anything. They just wanted to do something meaningful in their life. So we held their hands because they really wanted to do. So we brought the best from them. We made them the best versions. So now they were not doing anything. Now they are giving employment to so many others people, and giving the education to the children, the most meaningful thing that anybody can do on this earth. Then few of our franchises were like job people. They were like into jobs, like they were working in some insurance company or there. So, but they really wanted to do something bigger in their life. So we held their hand, we provided them the franchisee, our business model, gave them training, and now they are doing brilliant. Again, they are very happy, very successful, and that's a grace of the divine that all our schools are running very, very successfully. Absolutely, we are catering the best education. We are happy parents, happy students, and the best thing is that we are contributing it back to the society, what society is giving us.
And I think I am so grateful. I'm so thankful to you that you're doing it.
Yep.
Because I know a lot of people who wait for such opportunities, who wait that somebody might come and support us. My next question would be about the subjectivity that this realm has. We are talking about child's personality growth. And I think that not everybody's perception of it is similar to ours. Somebody might take it as enjoyment, like coming to a school which is giving you opportunity and time, maybe do music, do art. But on the other hand, we might have some introvert students. We might have students who don't feel comfortable. I totally understand that we're not ready to accept that these activities also could be uncomfortable for kids. We think that, this is what brings them freedom. But sometimes you have these things inculcated in your personality that you're not open to experiences like this. How do you deal with such subjectivity? Because when we are in a classroom, it's one teacher, you have, say, 10 kids in the classroom, but you've got a very stipulated time period to deal with all of them at once. And this, I think, goes for the whole education industry also, because a lot of times when a kid is not doing good, it is said कि बाकी बच्चे भी इसी class में पढ़ते हैं. Why is your kid not, taking the step ahead? How do you deal with such subjectivity that exists within the classroom?
Very deep question you have asked. First of all, we need to understand this thing that every child loves to play. That is designed by the nature. That is how the child grows, by playing. You give the child full day to play. He will keep on doing something or the other. Maybe breaking things or doing things or running here or running there. They just don't like to sit. Unless and until you don't give them a mobile in their hand. And they just calm down when they have to go to sleep. Right? Even food, they want to eat while running here and there. Right? So that is their nature. Playfulness is their nature, right? So we just need to channelize them in the right direction. We are not making them play. They are already playful. But we are giving them a right direction of a learning to that play. And more importantly, as you're talking about the education system of India, we have a system in our school that our ratio of the student in the classroom is very minimalistic. We keep 12 to 15 students in the classroom because it's humanly impossible to handle 40, 50, 60 students in a classroom.
Right.
So we make sure that the ratio of the student is minimalistic, 12 to 15 students, one teacher is there to handle. And in my organization, my teachers are facilitators. They're facilitating the environment, right? There are teaching aids. There are things in the classroom where the child has to do that thing. And teacher is just the bridge between those two things, because child learns everything by doing, right? Child loves to do himself. अगर आप एक 3 साल के बच्चे को भी आप स्टेप्स चढ़ाने के लिए बोलो, बेटा मैं आपको स्टेप चढ़ाती हूँ, he'll just say आप पे चढ़ूंगा मैं,
Right.
because he wants to feel empowered. And that is what we do our in schools, Angels Paradise, that we empower our students, we give them challenges that they love to do. And as far as, yes, there are certain students, because आपने देखो होगा अब हर परिवार में there are 1-2 children only,
Right.
और हम बच्चों को ओवर कर रहे हैं इस वक्त, ओवर केयर कर रहे हैं, चीज़ें उनके ज़रूरत से पहले हम उनको दे रहे हैं, और काफ़ी चीज़ों के कारण भी बच्चे सेंसिटिव बन रहे हैं, बिकॉज घर में इतने बच्चे नहीं रहे, न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज हो गई हैं. देर आर चिल्ड्रन हु आर सेंसिटिव, and we have a strategy to deal with such kind of students, that how to make them more participative by rewarding, by encouraging, by pushing them. And at times it's vice versa also, and there are some students who are very naughty, they are violently naughty. So there is a different method to calm down, to take care of them, and to make it a part of the mainstream systems. Okay, this is how you have to be in the class, this is the discipline of the class, this is how you have to be with your friends, this is how you have to share. So absolutely, when you have a low ratio students, so you can cater to every child according to his need, and every child is a different child, and you have to, as a leader, I make sure that I'm treating each and every child in my organization, in my schools, very differently according to his need.
So you did a lot at the times of COVID.
Yeah.
There was a lot of awareness that you brought, and you took your music
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
What ignited that spirit in you? I mean, at those times, almost everybody was depressed. The businesses were coming down. That's why I ask you, what made you do all that? I mean, it's very easy to complain, but I think when you are an entrepreneur and you are an established entrepreneur, you have totally forgotten how to complain anyways. But at those times when there were so many things happening, if I specifically take your business into consideration, what ignited that feeling in you that you need to do something like this?
First of all, I liked your statement, Simran, where you said that an established entrepreneur doesn't really feels the problems, he finds a solution. That's very important. That is a very important quality of an entrepreneur. Yes, that was a time we had a challenging situation. The government also said that the school should not be taking fees, but while we were teaching them already in online classes, so we were ourselves in a big problem at that time. All our franchisees, all our schools, lakhs of rupees goes in salary, rentals, expenses, other things. So there was no income at all, but there was always the output, right? So that was a very challenging time that we all were going. But at the same time, I felt that these COVID essentials things, so-called masks, sanitizers, gloves, fumigation machines, the solutions that used to kill the bacteria, viruses, all these things, first of all, were not available. Even if they were available at a very high cost, and there was no surety of the quality. Once I went to the market to buy that was a 5-ply mask. You call it the mask which you cover. So I went to the market to buy them. First of all, I didn't get the mask. Second, where I got it was for 300 rupees. I just saw the mask. I said, what is there in this? There is a cloth and there is a rubber. Even a layman can estimate the cloth, machinery, labor, everything you put, it should not exceed rupees 40 to 50 rupees in manufacturing. Come what may, how the raw material expensive. Then I found why there is such a big gap, 30, 40 rupees for manufacturing, and why 300 rupees it's been sold for. And I felt so many people were getting sick, they were not getting masks, they were not getting sanitizers. So the COVID came at the end of March 20.
Right.
And in April, it was a pure lockdown. And in April, I realized it's a big problem. So I took the car. I, of course, took the permission from the government, and I took my car and I went to the manufacturing units throughout the India. Ludhiana, they had a unit of PPE kits and masks. In Jalandhar, there is an area there they developed starting manufacturing. In Saharanpur, they had. So I drove to all the factories. I found that mask which is being sold for 300 rupees, फैक्ट्री से उतना महंगा नहीं निकल रहा, फैक्ट्री से 40, 50, 60 रुपीज का ही निकल रहा है.
But when it's reaching the market,
It's like literally black marketing going on, and there is a problem of availability also. There I found that इस वक्त सिर्फ लोगों को दो चीजें चाहिए, खाना और कोविड एसेंशियल. खाना भी आपको पता है कितना ज्यादा उस वक्त ब्लैक मार्केटिंग हुआ, बड़ा कुछ हुआ. सो देन आई फेल्ट कि इतने प्रोडक्ट्स मार्केट में आ चुके हैं, लोगों को पता भी नहीं है. सो व्हाट आई डिड, आई कंसेप्चुअलाइज्ड अ स्टोर which was exclusively for COVID essentials. And we named it Grace Healthcare. And we arranged products from the India, even from the South India, different kind of fumigation machines, guns, and everything. And even from Calcutta side, we arranged some kind of, coats and everything. Even the cloth, the bacteria killing cloth we arranged. So we placed more than 250 products of the range SKUs in our showroom, and trust me, it was like all over. So all the major channels, Aaj Tak, Star Plus, and the local channels, the Punjab National channel, they just came up and they just covered, and it was just people were just hopping onto it. They just wanted, literally there were queues outside my showroom that hame ye de do, because first I was selling the quality products. And I was just keeping my margin just 10%, 20%, only that's it. And you also remember the second time when the COVID wave came, there was a problem of oxygen concentrator, if you remember. 2 lakh rupees, and at that time even I purchased the oxygen concentrator directly from the importer who was importing from China. I just sold it when it was being sold in the market for 2 lakh rupees. I just sold it for 50 to 60,000 rupees. And I supplied throughout the India. I got the queries from Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Madras, Hyderabad. I used to supply them, and they used to bless me so much. Vikrant, you're doing an amazing work. The internet is full of it. If you search this COVID essential store in Amritsar, Vikrant Kapoor, you'll find so many compliments, reviews on the LinkedIn that Vikrant is doing wonderful things.
That's what you earned. In reality.
Very right. So that was the journey, and now it's a full-fledged medical store. Like, we are doing online selling through Meesho, Amazon, Flipkart.
Right.
We have our own e-portal. We are selling this. So this is like another segment that we have got into. So you can just say that I am into the most important thing, that's health and education.
Right. And it's a brilliant combination, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
I'd briefly like you to talk about, you're a musician, you're a poet, right? So what I think is, sometimes when we face hard times, when we have burden, we are like, let's do something, and that somewhere introduces us. Let's do music. Let's poetry is something I would not take into that particular category, because for poetry you need that depth. You need that experience. You need to be a little metaphoric about life. But you've been doing music. Has it been your the teenage dream that we have, that you want to be into this, or you were just passionate about it?
Yes, very interesting question. You caught my pulse.
Yes.
I started singing before I started speaking. At the age of 2.5, 3, I remember there was a teacher, Mr. Rajkumar sir. He's still there, and he was my teacher at 2.5, 3 years old. I used to play harmonium and sing some saregama and everything, and some bhajans also. I still even remember my two bhajans. One was Charan Parat, Vinti Karat, Mano, और दूसरा था सुख के सब साथी. I remember that singing, and then I grew up with music, but it was just a part of life. And the music also gave me the strength to be at peace when I was absolutely alone. The student life, you feel lonely. There were so many phases that you go through. And then gradually I started, learning guitars and everything. And the thing happened, I was part of the university. And I was part of law department. I was part of language department. I did my advanced diploma in French from university, and I used to perform. And the kind of adulation and the love that I used to get from audience,
Right.
and you really used to feel, wow, everybody loves you, everybody wants to come and make friends with you. You found that spark in you, and then I felt, okay, why not to do it in this on a bigger level. And 95, 96, 1996, 95. So this pop music was just coming up. I remember approaching Delhi. I went there, and there was a person called Edmund Fernandez. He was doing music for Daler Mehndi at that time. Daler Mehndi was just recording his songs. I went to that person discussing about the music, and I wanted to launch myself as a musician. But something happened personal in my life that it just went off. I knew that was such a downtime in my life that I could not touch music for at least 10 years in my life. At least 10 years, I did not touch the music. It just went off. So, such a dark phase of my life. That was I could not really express that, how dark phase I had in my life. For 10 years, I was totally in a dark phase. And in 2003, Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar came in my life, Art of Living. And I learned Sudarshan Kriya, I learned meditation, and there were so many programs, beautiful programs in Art of Living, advanced courses, Sah Samadhi courses. I kept on getting deeper into the knowledge of spiritualism, and there I came back. And then I devoted my music to bhajans, satsang, and I traveled across India, performed at various places at Art of Living, Bhajan Sandhya, and Mumbai, Delhi, Ludhiana, UP, so many states I went and performed, and there I got my music back. And even today, I am dedicating my music for a good reason. You see, I have a channel on my YouTube. If you search Vikrant Kapoor, you'll find all my songs are dedicated to one or the other cause. You will find I'm talking about education, I'm talking about child. Even COVID when happened, I released one song on COVID awareness also. So this is how this journey, and I really believe that music should be part of everybody's life. Music should be made compulsory by the government to every student, because music is the only thing which develops the right side of the brain. Otherwise, the left side of the brain is the brain of logic, and right side of the brain of music and art. So our focus is totally developing the left side of the brain. Learn karo, सीखो, याद करो, ये काम करो, वो काम करो, maths करो, science करो. So music is the one which develops the brain in a very well balanced way, and I give my credit to my creativity, to my passion, to my music, and I'm really blessed that I'm still into music. I'm releasing a song in another 15 days. That's about the kids and the students who are running out of India. So it's like telling them how important India is. Stay back and. Shall I share one more story?
Sure, please go ahead.
In 1995, when I passed my graduation and I passed from university also, 1996 or so, I was approached. I did my top in French language department. So people from Canadian immigration, they approached me.
That's brilliant.
They approached me. They said, Vikrant, we have shortlisted few students in Punjab, which we want them to settle down in Canada. So you are one of them, because you are good in French, and we have seen your profile, and we've seen that your family background is also very good. So you will contribute to Canada's growth. And that time immigration ka kuch tha hi nahi. There was no craze going to Canada, because Canada wanted people to come there, because there was a problem. Craze to abhi shuru hua hai. So I remember at that time I said no to them. I still remember वो कहाँ ऑफिस में बैठे थे, वो सामने 3-4 लोग बैठे थे. I said on the spot, I said no. जो भी मैं करूँगा इंडिया में करूंगा, अपने देश में रह के करूंगा, अपने देश के लिए करूंगा.
And that no brought to you this point, this point of life, where you did so much.
Maybe that is how the nature gives you back.
Right.
Yeah.
So can I say that you had music?
Yeah.
And then you talked about the dark phase of your life. But when you came out of the dark phase, you were a musician and a poet.
No, I was a poet and musician since childhood only. But yes, that brought more depth, depth, and gave more meaning to it.
Right.
Otherwise, it was just to impress somebody. I'm singing on the stage, the university students are going, Vikrant, and that was just for that reason.
Is there any phrase or line that has been close to you? Maybe self-written by you, but something that, just keeps in your mind, that you keep in your mind.
I would like to recite a poem, which a book I released about a month back recently. The DC of Amritsar, Mr. Harpreet Singh Sudan ji released that. There is a poem that I can recite that for you, and it's a very poem written from the heart, and this is what my life has been all about.
Right.
That the title of the poem goes, "Sapno ki कीमत चुकानी पड़ती है. And this is something poem that I have lived my life into, and I believe कि this is the beauty of life. Unless and until you don't go through pain, you cannot blossom. The pain is very important part of this, and everything has a cost. राइट. और वो आपके सपनों की भी कॉस्ट होती है, कीमत होती है जो आपको चुकानी होती है. सो दिस इज द पोएम दैट आई एम गोइंग टू रिसाइट एंड से, एंड बिकॉज देर आर सो मेनी पोएम्स आई राइट एंड एट टाइम्स आई फॉरगेट फ्यू लाइन्स, सो दैट इज व्हाई आई एम रीडिंग इट. ओके. कुछ चैन खोना पड़ता है, कुछ नींदें गंवानी पड़ती हैं. कुछ चैन खोना पड़ता है, कुछ नींदें गंवानी पड़ती हैं, सपनों की कीमत चुकानी पड़ती है. जब सब कुछ आसपास गलत होता है, जब अपना सब कुछ जोखिम में लग जाता है, कितनी आसपास निराशा उठानी पड़ती है, सपनों की कीमत चुकानी पड़ती है. बना हुआ कारवां तुम्हें छोड़ जाएगा, चलता हुआ जहां तुम्हें छोड़ जाएगा, फिर भी दिल में आशा की किरण जगानी पड़ती है, सपनों की कीमत चुकानी पड़ती है. आसमान को छूने के लिए बहुत फड़फड़ाना पड़ता है. आसमान को छूने के लिए बहुत फड़फड़ाना पड़ता है. कितनी बारी गिर के खुद को उठाना पड़ता है, क्योंकि बहुत ऊंची उड़ान भरनी होती है, सपनों की कीमत चुकानी होती है.
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
That is so deep.
Thank you.
And I just hope that anybody who is going to see this interview comes to this point and is able to understand that every word you've written.
Yeah.
And when sometimes what happens is it's not always that your journey teaches you something. Sometimes what happens is you listen to somebody, the words stay in your mind, and then you face a situation in your life and you go back to those words. So
Very
I think
true.
your poetry is something like that.
Very true.
It's going to stay with anybody who's going to listen to
Very
it.
true.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And before we wrap up, I would like you to give any message that you have in your mind to the entrepreneurs who are going to watch this interview.
Well, I'll just continue with what you just said. I'll create my message out of that. Only you just said that my poetry or my things would inspire somebody. I would just give a small message. आज की डेट में there is so much of content available, so much of knowledge available. Overdose and overloaded of knowledge, and I would just suggest that you don't have to grab all the knowledge from every place. Even if you are visiting some kind of conference or some talk show, or you are even watching this video right now, you don't have to grab the whole knowledge. Just pick the one thing that clicks you and implement that thing. Implement that thing in your life. That will only count, because action taking and implementation is the only thing. बातों की कोई कीमत नहीं है, ओवर एक्सेस नॉलेज की कोई कीमत नहीं है. सो जहाँ से भी आप कोई चीज़ सीख रहे हैं, कोई किताब अच्छी पढ़ रहे हैं, कोई नॉलेज ले रहे हैं, ये वीडियो आप सुन रहे हैं, उसमें से एक या दो चीज़ें जो आपको बहुत अच्छी लगी हैं उसको आप लिखिए और इमीडिएटली अपनी लाइफ में इम्प्लीमेंट करिए. एंड देयर हाउ यू डेवलप टू हैव अ ब्यूटिफुल लाइफ. एंड इफ़ यू हैव अ ब्यूटिफुल लाइफ, you have a beautiful people in your life, and if you have a beautiful people in your life, that is how the beauty, and that is how the world becomes a beautiful place to live.
Well, thank you so much. We are so honored, and I'm sure that this interview was very insightful, and it's going to help us not just in entrepreneurship but in life as well.
Thank you so much, and I would just compliment you, Simran, that you are a wonderful host. And you are a very positive person. You have a very, I would say, a very positive vibrations. And I met your team also. I met Jasmine. I met Sunny. Yeah. And you are a wonderful team. And I really appreciate your efforts to do it from the heart. I did not really feel that you all are doing these things out of a compulsion. It's you are passionate about something. Exactly. And you're doing it from heart. So I'm very hopeful that these things will reach to the people heart, because this is done from the heart. Congratulations to you all for this endeavor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
My
your
pleasure.
appreciation. Thank you so much for all the viewers for watching and tuning in. I'm Simran Kaur signing off.